Every day.
Do
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Logan Court. Everybody will stand with us. I'm going to ask Nathan Cocker to come up and open us up with prayer, please.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beautiful day that you have made, and we rejoice and are glad in it. And today, Father, we ask as we've come together to do the business of the county that you guide hearts and minds with wisdom to know just exactly your will and the plan to carry that out. And Father, we realize those in our community that are hurting, they need a touch from you today, and we intercede and believe for good for them. And knowing that, Lord, you are the God of all comfort and the God of all care. We pray and lift up our nation as well. You know every need. There's so many. But we trust that you are a God who is able to do the impossible, and we believe for that today. We ask that in all these things that we might glorify you. And we ask all this in the precious name of my Savior and our Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We'll open this with a pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as we open up, we have quite a few amendments to the agenda. One is add a representative from the Adairsville City Park, requesting park contributions. Remove item number 8, which was a second reading to an ordinance 23-1040.2-013. Add item number 14, acknowledge the Kentucky Product Development Initiative project report.
Those are all mine.
They're all mine too?
Well, this is an
Yeah,
amendment
I
to
don't
the
have that
old, the ones you got the other day.
I got you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Not roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Sorry about that. Now I need the approval of minutes, please.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion on the minutes? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right, first up is representative from Auburn City Park. There you are, Mike Hughes. How are you doing, sir? Mayor Mike Hughes, excuse
How
me.
y'all doing today?
Good. Good. How are you?
Good. I appreciate the court allowing me a few minutes to speak here. We'll try to keep it away from a campaign speech and just go straight to the point. The Auburn City Park, I think y'all know, we try to serve the county as well as the city, maybe more so actually, if you look at the leagues and all that. But we don't differentiate, it's fine with us. More is better. It's all good in our leagues. But we're trying to enhance our park. We're having to change out some electrical services. Right now, we're building an additional parking lot, about 22 spaces. Those are the things that we've got going on, I guess, that are the major ones. We're partnering with Champion Pet Foods on some more additions, hopefully in the future with our dog park. And but what I'm here today for is to let you know one of the projects we're doing that we could use some help on. And we're putting in 2 pickleball courts at our park. Where the existing skate park is now, that equipment has become dilapidated a little bit and unusable, and not replacing that at this moment is probably what we see as the best alternative, simply because it's not getting utilized as much as it used to. You know, I guess things shift, you know, and change, but we've had so many requests for pickleball that I guess it's a very popular thing, and it's kind of like a disc golf course we're in the process of completing right now. We hope to have it open sometime around August. But it's a 9-hole disc golf course, and it's lighted, has a walking trail around it, 1/3 of a mile, and we should be complete with it. But what I'm here today, again, is to ask for about the pickleball. We could use some help on that. And so it's transitioning into that, and then if we get demand later on, we'll look at maybe another skate park with concrete ramps and things of that nature that won't deteriorate so quickly. This is about 15 years. This wood equipment with metal edges has deteriorated to the point where it needs to be worked on, but it has to be worked on by someone that the professional engineer will put a stamp on, right? So, you know, that becomes an issue for us. So anyway, that's what I'm here for today, and I want to thank you for your time. Appreciate it. You guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, do you have estimation to what that kind of work will cost?
On the skate park?
No, well, demolishing it and replacing it. Do you have anybody that has given you estimation on that cost?
The demolishing part's not difficult because most of it is just setting on the concrete, right? You know, you just pick it up and
Yeah.
you put it in a dumpster, right? But then there's some rails that are attached, some jump rails. We'll probably keep those because they're fine, but we'll keep those for later use, maybe somewhere else. But the slab, of course, for the skate park was one expense, but we're reusing that slab as part of the pickleball court. We're just adding to it. The skate park equipment itself to replace similar to what we have right now is around $25,000 for the equipment.
You're expecting it to be a minimum of $25,000.
But you're talking about the pickleball, I think it's what more so, he's replacing that with the pickleball court, so I think you're asking what the estimated cost for the pickleball court is?
Well, to do the work.
For the pickleball court?
Yeah, to replace the one skate park, and then you're adding a second one.
No, not right now. Right now, he's just doing the pickleball court.
Just the pickleball court right now, and we're not putting back the skate park right now.
But I
Now,
understood.
if usage and demand came back for that, I guess it's a cyclical thing. You know what I mean? That some kids were
Well,
interested
phases.
in that, yeah. And there are not as many now that are interested in it, and it's just not getting very much use. But mostly it's bicycles riding across the ramps, which is a problem for us.
Well,
You know?
somebody could really get.
Yeah, it's a problem for us. But so we're trying to reutilize the slab that exists there and add to it and put 2 pickleball courts there
Oh, in that one, okay.
in that one spot.
what you-
We're replacing, I guess a better term is replacement, right?
Okay.
We're replacing the skate park with 2 pickleball courts. That's what we're doing.
And you estimate that to be approximately 25,000?
No, that whole pickleball project will be around $45,000.
And you already have a certain amount from the park coming in from the court.
I think we received $1,600 so far.
So he's requesting the $8,000
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, so you're asking for a little bit more than you already get?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, about half again.
No, we had it budgeted for $8,000 next fiscal year, right? For him to, and every year, whenever they come, mayors or whoever we give that money to come and request and tell us what they're gonna use that money for before we write them a check. So that's what he's here today for, to tell us what he's gonna do with the money that we've already budgeted to give him. So he's telling us that the money that we've already budgeted, $8,000 next fiscal year, he's going to use that money towards a pickleball court project.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It won't completely cover it by any means, but we're gonna use it toward that.
Well, thank you.
I
It's
appreciate
helpful
the
to know
help.
what the money goes for. You
Yeah,
know, sometimes
yeah.
the money goes out and you never see any.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna help us a lot. It'll actually pay for all the extensions to the concrete slab and then a little bit left, so.
It's your district, you wanna make the motion?
Oh, I think we should do that for Auburn, but I'd like to see something similar in all these districts. And so their mayors maybe take a cue here and come in and explain what they need. I totally do make a motion to do this and to do it approximately, what was the amount you came up with? 8,000 even?
What's
Okay.
in,
I'll second her motion.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? With that being said, Mike and I took a tour of the park three
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah,
There's a
about
lot
2
going
weeks
on
ago.
up there.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting what they've got going on at the park, and very excited to see this. So good work on that. If there's no further discussion, can I get a roll call on that?
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Mike, thank you for your time.
I appreciate
Thank you,
the
Mayor.
court's
Thank you,
time.
Mayor.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Y'all come see me. We'll do another tour.
Definitely will. Definitely will. Worth your time to go see the park. Next up is a representative from Adairsville City Park, Mayor Blake from Adairsville. How are you, ma'am?
Good, how are you all?
We are wonderful.
Thank you for letting me speak today and ask you for some money too. I'm asking for our piece of the pie. Our park is going on a major renovation this year. We've already got in playground equipment to the tune of about 50,000. And we're getting ready to put that up. We're also working on some new picnic tables and things like that, but we're working on pickleball too. I understand that's the big thing now. And we've got a tennis court that was built for a tennis court, then it went to a skate park, and we've taken all that down, how interests change, and now it's pickleball. And the lady told me yesterday she goes to Russellville, Lewisburg, Buchanan Park, and over by Cheney's, and she has to wait in line sometimes to play pickleball. I did not know it was that big. But she said if we do it, if we build it, they'll come. So we're going to put 2 on that one, but we're going to have to, I think, do some resurfacing on it maybe a little bit. But they're willing to do a lot of the work. We ordered the nets yesterday, but we may go on and put another pad in for another, maybe 2 more things too. So we're just asking for our $8,000 too to help us with the project.
Make a motion to approve the request by Darrellville Mayor.
Second.
One.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was sitting here like, it's my turn.
I have a motion by Tyler and a second by Jamie. Is there any further discussion?
Jamie told me to make the motion.
We was just gonna let his motion die.
That's so funny.
If there's no further discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank
Mayor
you
Blake,
all. Thank you
for your
so
time.
much.
Next up, approved bills, including the supplement bill list.
I'm sorry, what would you say, Jason? I was straightening Jason out. He's trying to get the cart before the horse over there.
I heard Jason was building a pickleball court in his backyard, so everybody just go over and visit him.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Approved bills and the supplement bill list.
On the bill list, Judge, there is a Wired for Life monitoring service for the voting machines, and it says $300 per month. I mean, surely that service ain't $300
No,
per
it's
month.
Stacy, can you come up here and,
It says from June to July. unless I misread that.
Is it not say June 23 to July 24?
You could have something there.
Yeah, it's for the year. We pay
Okay.
300 for the
Well,
security.
it said monthly, so that's what was throwing me off.
We pay 300 for the, like the door security at the office and 300 for the election building.
Yeah, I can't find it right now anyhow. So, okay, if that's, as long as that's a year, that's reasonable. I thought 300 a month seemed crazy. Okay, and the other question I had, we had an AT&T bill for $45. I thought we were done with AT&T. Were they not all
Talking about
gone?
That's for the
EOC.
courthouse.
That's the
That too.
elevator.
That's
Elevator.
Elevator phone.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
I'm clear now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I was just a little curious about, there's a jail routine medical bill for $19,595.
That's our
Is that
contract health people.
Is it? It says P. Crawls. Who's P. Crawls? Treatment for P. Crawls, and not one person.
That'll need to be rebuilt. I'll check on
Okay. This is
Where
Bowling Green, Warren
Right here
County.
at the first.
What page are
one.
you on there?
I'm on,
Yeah,
Bottom right.
page 8.
I'm,
Top
8 of
line
11.
on 8.
Top line on 8.
8 of 11. This is a Bowling Green, Warren County Community Hospital for medical treatment for P. Crosland on 11/11/22. Wow, that's from last November for $19,595. I think that's the one.
So, no, that's not the monthly. So has that been submitted to our carrier that provides that? 'Cause
Yes.
there should be pool money for that.
It was originally a really big bill, so.
So this is what's left after paying the pool money?
Well, how it works is we pay them monthly, but then our medical bills, we pay them separately, from my understanding, is what we've been doing.
Yeah, but there is both the state of Kentucky and y'all working on my memory, we have pool money that we can submit when you have a one-time big event, such as, somebody's sick, you gotta send them to the hospital, and you get this big medical bill. So I'm gonna get this half right, but there's a pool of money through the provider we pay and/or with the state of Kentucky. You can submit that through the jail department and we get reimbursed for that. Amanda, help me out. I'm
He's drowning over here.
drowning. I mean, like,
I feel like, I don't know all the details just like you, but you are correct. I do recall with the state, we have submitted before
Yeah.
larger bills, and then they would take care of some of that. I've not read our contract for medical services in a little while, but in previous years, we did have that pool with medical services. I don't know if that's a part of our current contract or not. I'll have to pull it and read.
Pool money.
yeah, so a portion of what you're paying, like, just say your monthly thing is $24,000 a month. I just made that number up. There's a small portion of that will go towards a pool or a holding for that one-time big event that happens. You don't know when it's gonna happen, but when it happens, and you get someone who has to go to the hospital and you get a bill for $150,000. There is a separate pool of insurance money,
Not
if you
insurance,
will.
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I know, it's not
It's
really
not
an
called
insurance.
insurance,
They
but
put it,
it's-
they hold it in a pool, and you can draw from that, but you have to submit it. They're not gonna give it to you
Unless you submit it.
because they don't keep up with that. You have to submit it. And likewise, the state of Kentucky has a similar thing that if you have somebody
Who submits that? Just the judge's office?
jail, the
Jail
jailer would submit that.
To
It
the
goes,
state of Kentucky.
yeah, because it goes through the Department of Corrections.
Yes.
So it could be done through the jail or through Amanda. I mean, anybody, I think, who has the proper form and paperwork can fill that out.
Yeah, I mean, I was just curious. I just noticed it was a big
So I'm
number.
glad you noticed it because I just glanced at it and I thought that was our monthly thing.
Big enough to beat the monthly.
Yeah, probably,
Well, what I suggest is we'll get with the jailer and we'll look that over and see what we can do to get that submitted to make sure we get that
Yeah,
covered.
we need to
Or as
pay
much
it.
as we can
I
of it.
mean,
We gotta
get
pay
it
it.
reimbursed.
Unfortunately.
And that's my fault. I didn't even realize there was such.
Facility over there, it seems like.
Is there any other questions on the bills, on the supplement bill list? If not, can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve the bill list and supplemental bill list as presented.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up is Treasurer's Report. Amanda, please.
Good morning. I do have a couple of things this morning. The first thing that I have is our financial statement ending May 31st, 2023. The balance in the general fund was $1,101,935.75. Road fund $170,489.25. Jail fund $125,746.37. LGEA $18,031.12. Federal Grants Fund, $54.68. Solid Waste Recycling, $473,106.23. Parks and Rec Fund, $753,018.54. Occupational Tax, $8,630,644.30. Life Skills, $154,119.74. 911 Fund, $50,604.99. Health Insurance Fund, $987,693.79. County Clerk Storage Fees, $31,034.96. ARPA Fund, $5,106,962.71. National Opioid Settlement Fund, $136,868.86. Special Reserve Fund, $4,192,231.79. For a total of all funds, $21,932,543.08.
So acknowledged.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Amanda, on solid waste fund, we have like the total claims, maybe I'm just not recalling the balance, but the total claims today is $230,591. I guess the last time I remember in my mind what that balance was, we were at $700,000. Has it been one big claim, or have I just not been paying attention to the balance?
I think it was like 600,000 like 4 years ago.
No.
So are we talking about just like the total claims that's paid out?
So the $230,591.25 is total claims paid out to date.
Yes, for this fiscal year,
That's right, so.
for
so
7/1.
I just debunked your myth. I said the balance this,
thought you-
last fiscal
I
year
thought you was talking about that,
was 703,000.
you're talking about where we got the money because of the sale of.
No, I just remember that balance being about $800,000 not that long ago. So what's coming out of that? That would be a simpler question.
So what comes out of that would be anything like the solid waste coordinators' salary and benefits, and any like office supplies and dump cleanups. Litter abatement's also included in that fund. This year, we haven't had a litter abatement deputy for most of the year, so naturally that amount's going to be a little bit less. And then we have our recycling coordinator and his benefits that come out of that, and then anything that it takes to run the recycle program.
Okay, so, but year to date, there's been no deposits in that account.
Yes.
So that is going to be a depleted account.
We have had some deposits in that account, but it is nowhere near what it is going to take to continually run those three programs.
Okay.
So yes, over the years, that money has dwindled and it's going to continue to do so.
So that fund got its money from the tipping fees when we had a land fee.
Yes, sir.
When we redid our contracts for waste, I thought there was still a tipping fee or something in that contract that when the landfill closed, that we moved kind of that income producing part of that over to the new
The
contract.
hauling fee, is that not right?
It was something.
We do the hauler fees and we do the permit renewals. There is a 5% gross receipts for Waste Connection that we get, which is Scott Waste. We get a 2% on Apex for the transfer station, and then we do get some franchise fees.
But if we've not received any money year to date, where is that 7.5% you just talked
We
about?
have received money to date.
That's why it's not going down so quickly. It'd probably be zero.
Yes. So to date, in the solid waste recycling fund, we have received revenues of $202,182.39. And you'll see that on page 7 of the financial report.
I didn't know it had 7 pages. You talking about page 7 of 16?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So where you see total above line revenues, if you'll go over to total received for this period, 282,182.39, that's what we have received in all of those fees for this current fiscal year.
202,182.39.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It's actually
so
more than you budgeted to receive.
receive 109, 25, 49. So I'm assuming the off-site waste management 109 is what we're getting from that 5%.
It would be for the 5% on from from Scott Waste, the 2% from Apex. Like that's pretty much all of your
Okay.
fees that we're getting.
Okay. Okay, thank you for,
You're welcome.
It's $12,000 on,
so
that must be like.
that's gonna last 2 more years, and that's gonna be a depleting line item, and you're gonna have to put general fund monies in it to keep it going. If
The
that-
$12,000 is what we are doing from Planet Recycling,
Oh,
where the cardboard
yeah.
recycling and the things that we haul off and sell. That's what we're getting.
Yeah, I remember that was 800,000 just a year or so ago.
Yeah, it's quickly dwindling.
Yeah.
what is the largest cost that, is it the, what we're having to pay whenever they're picking up the recycling and it's not, isn't that a cost as well? Like the
It
when it's
is.
picked up and it's contaminated and we're not getting money for that much.
Is that coming out of solid waste? when
Yes,
you
sir.
Get that bill? Yeah. About $3,000 a month on average.
Through what we're paying to have that sent off from Scott Waste.
Yes, I think we have a motion in a second.
Yep.
Yeah. Do we have any other discussion?
Tyler, ain't got no more questions.
I had a first question about that.
If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Slaput,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Okay, the next thing you have should be your list of budget transfers. As Thomas mentioned, that list grows at this time of year, so we have 4 pages of budget transfers this time that total $120,365.33.
And they went to the 3 things you've got listed here, jail, LGEA, and,
That's cash transfers. This right here.
no, I was, okay, she's not to the cash.
Right.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That's just to kind of towards the end of the year, balance out different accounts.
Okay.
Is it approved or acknowledged?
Approve.
Yeah, you
Make
gotta
a-
approve it.
Make a motion to approve the budget transfers as presented.
Have a motion and a second by Tyler. Is there any other discussion on that? Not sorry. Roll call, please.
Davenport. Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilcott.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes. Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And I do have 3 cash transfers for you today. We need to transfer $35,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the jail fund.
So moved.
Those are the 3.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got my second. Any further discussion? Not roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilcott.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
We need to transfer $40,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the LGEA fund.
So moved.
Second.
Everybody jump out at once. Any further discussion? Not roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilcott.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And I need to transfer $35,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the 911 fund.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not
Got
roll.
any money left?
A little bit.
$2.
That was my question. I'll wait till I find it.
If not, roll call, please.
Davenport.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Wilcott.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Amanda. Next up is roadwork request, District 1.
District 1, Kelly, out on Dennis Road, I went out there and checked out, East Logan made that cut because they had that water leak in the middle of the road. That part seems to be okay, but there's a couple other spots out there. It looks like it's risen up. I don't know. So, a few places up there I think you're aware of.
Wouldn't it be raised?
Let me tell you what.
Seen English.
I married one.
Thomas Bolden is going. We're going to make Thomas go out there and do it. He'll open that
Gotta get it
mouth.
right.
All right, so parts of the road that have risen, like Thomas just rose up, made a comment. Get those patched, and also I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna post a speed on that road, 30 miles per hour. I rode it, and 30. A lot of curves, a lot of hills, a lot of houses.
Which road is it?
Dennis.
It is one.
So, like to place one at the start, one at the end, and one in the middle. And then, also on Newtown Road, right there where the Eddings live, there's a narrow spot of the road. If I can get a sign on both sides of that, just to warn people not to drive the trailers off into that. And also on Powell Place Road, I want a speed limit sign of 20 miles per hour.
Powell Place.
Yep.
What's it? This is 130.
I will.
All right, District 2.
I turned in a work order for, rock on Mortimer, up there on that hill where the culverts have been put and have washed out. Other than that, thank you for everything.
District 3.
Continue maintenance. I know looking at my list, 10 pages long, so appreciate all the work that's been done. Had several calls. I did want to ask the court, has there been a precedent about requests for speed bumps? I was asked that question.
Yeah, it's always no.
And the reason,
Always no.
It's liability.
Nobody wants a speed bump, so-
that's what I thought. I just sort of curious what the reasoning was, just to be able to share that.
Well, because everybody suffers from having to go over a speed bump in their, driveway or going to their drive, going home. And, for one or two people who are just driving entirely too fast. I've had that problem in 2 different locations. Told the sheriff, he went out there and wrote tickets for a day or 2, and that problem went away. Because it's just 1 or 2 people who are driving like crazy. And just people who ask for that, just say, hey, identify the time and the place, and maybe even the description of the vehicle, and get that information to them, and they'll sit out there and give them a ticket, and go out there and give them another ticket, and usually by the 3rd ticket, they've got the message.
Kelly,
We would rather for you to have a speeding ticket than everybody else suffer with that speed bump.
do we have speed limit signs on Lakewood Drive? Can you check on that and let me know about that one? Yep. Thank you.
Good. District 4.
At approximately 644 Thompson School Road, there's where a tile goes under an entrance of the road. The water's swirling in and around there, and it's eat up underneath it. Okay, all right. And there's 2 places that's on Homer Road that's really washing out. I don't know the approximate address on that. I can ask and get that to you. And then the only other thing I've had is just where we've paved Sharp Garden. Everybody's appreciative of it. It's just the shoulders are really high now, so I don't know if y'all had time to shoulder or not. But other than that, everything mowing, everything's looking good.
District 5.
Thank you for River Road. It was awful, and I know that was a big chunk. I'm grateful. And those people up there have called several times to say, wow, thank you. Also, we have a request from Watson Connects Bucksville and 3 Poplars. They wanted to know if they could get put on the paid list, and I said, I know that has to go through the court, but you need to evaluate it, and I know what all they have to do in the process. Cemetery Road. What are the plans for going all the way to the end? I know it's stopped at a certain point.
Blacktop?
Yeah, it's up to,
That half your road?
Half of it's Tyler's.
oh, that's Tyler's part I'm trying to get? People keep calling me to get it done, and I said, well, I thought we had.
Tyler said you could pay for it if you want to.
It's half years and half months.
Okay, we split that road down the middle. Kelly, do my half.
But if you really want it done, you can just pay for the whole thing.
Well, my people keep saying, how come you've only done half of it? And I said, I'll ask. But there you go. We have to have that in agreement, huh? Okay, Tyler.
Unless it's really important to you and you want to pay for the whole thing.
Well, or you. I tell you what, next time they call me, I'm going to say, there's a guy named Tyler Davenport. You need to give a call. I'm teasing. Thank you very much for that. Because
we'll talk about it.
And I do have one last thing. The road sign that I talked to you about, and you said you'd get it, and he was so grateful. But a constituent called me, and she said, you know what? These road signs disappearing. She said, can you take Gorilla Glue? And when you put the bolts in, just slather with Gorilla Glue. So whoever tries to get them
They pull
really
them out
has
of
to
the
work
ground.
at it.
They pull them out of the ground.
They break them off.
They break them off of the pole.
Yeah.
They're
Gorilla Glue is strong,
Just
you know,
do it like this.
but
and it's
I
extremely
don't think if
easy.
somebody hooks up to their pickup truck, Gorilla Glue is going to help.
So you've tried everything, nothing keeps that.
Make it too hard, they'll just take the pole off.
Yeah.
You take
The whole pole. And I do think the court needs to look at some sort of penalty, because the expense of doing that for the county to pay for the signs, for the road work.
There is a penalty. You just can't catch them doing
It's a
it.
state.
Fix it where they can't get them, then they take the whole pole.
So the poles, actually, it's more expensive to do that.
I don't know, man.
I don't know the answer either, but, so the Gorilla Glue wouldn't help at all. She said, please bring it up in court, and I said, I will. she'll see it, okay. All righty. So we go.
District 6, continue maintenance. Thanks for everything, Kelly.
All right, we've got all the road work requests. Can I get a motion?
So,
There you go. Can I get a second?
Second.
There we go. If there's no discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And there's gotta be something out there, like a software or a program or something that says, how long's your road, how wide's your road, how many houses you got on your road, is it curvy, is it hilly, what should your speed limit be on the road? Or some program or some resource or something, instead of, you know, us just going out there and my opinion could be different than what somebody else's opinion could be on.
Right.
I mean, I just go out there and go with that fast and be like, well, you know, he has a lot of curves, a lot of hills, yada, yada, yada. But maybe I'm wrong. You know, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know of anything.
I mean, it's like, you're just kind of grabbing a crier, you know?
I know we can, I know,
Well, I'm sure the state has that. I mean, you could probably contact, you know,
What's
out here, Lou Gillum, or go to the Bowling Green office and call up there and ask Joe Plum. But, you know, I'm like you, there's some kind of guideline that somebody is plugging those factors in, and it's coming up with a recommendation.
I have zero answer for you on that, Tyler.
Oh, ask for.
All right. Next up is elected officials. Sheriff Stratton, please.
I just need to get my fee report acknowledged today.
Make a motion to acknowledge the sheriff's fee report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Is that it?
That's it.
Thanks,
Thank
Sheriff.
What does Sheriff Adams?
Just ask him.
I'll ask later.
Yeah, it's where we collect some fees. The auditor midstream said we had to list it as an add-on, so it doesn't really explain it, but this is the last fee report that'll say add-ons. It'll have a more definitive category but basically it's some fees that we collect from court and stuff, so.
Pretty high, I just wondered.
Yeah. Or no, that's our late fee taxes. That's fees off our late fees of taxes, yeah. That's why it's higher.
Okay.
So,
I just thought I needed to ask.
yeah. Thomas had got me on that a couple of months ago, so.
Oh.
I thought I had it memorized, and then I thought I was clear, and you got me. Thomas didn't say nothing.
Well, I'm sorry.
Would you explain it again? You're assuming that I remembered that explanation.
Yeah, no, that's what it is, and this is the last year for it to say add-ons. The next fee report should say a more definitive category.
Thank you,
You're
Sheriff.
welcome.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next up is our clerk, Stacy Watkins.
I also need to have my fee report acknowledged, please.
Make a motion to approve, to acknowledge the Logan County Clerk fee report.
Second. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Is today your birthday?
Yes, ma'am.
Happy birthday.
Chris.
Thank
I
y'all.
wonder How cool
Her
of
daddy
you.
gave her away on Facebook.
I mean, what better place to be on your birthday than here?
She gets us knocked out and gets wined and dined later.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussion on this? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Is that it?
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday again.
Thank you so much.
Next up, Jailer Joshua Toomey.
Good morning.
Morning.
As of this morning, our count was 179. I'm just going to give you an update. I'm not here to request anything today, but we did receive the new boiler holding tank. It took a couple days longer than expected, but that was finished and hot water was back on. The shower trailer worked well again, but that was finished yesterday. So but we did get that swapped over. A couple unforeseen issues with some of the parts that come with it or that were ordered with it, but we got that fixed. But I appreciate everything.
A lot of painting going on over there also, right?
Yes, yes. Knocking them out one cell at a time. So got the lobby looking good and the hallways and the front office and working on one cell at a time. So
yeah, looking much better over there. Everything's looking really clean and well groomed, might I say?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. What's the max capacity of the jail? I mean, I know it's got a design capacity, but you shoot for some percentage over that.
Well, honestly, where we're at today is a odd calculation. It's hard to explain, but the total county inmates and the total state inmates, and you're looking at 110% overall between the two sides. That's where we're at with 179. That's kind of the magic number that we like to stay at. There's no way to stay under, so to speak. You talk to any facility across the state or in any state, every one of them is going to be over capacity, but that's kind of where you try to stay. Of course, the state inspectors don't like that, but it's out of our hands. I mean, we're doing the best we can with what we have.
Around 180 is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have that broken down into which it was state and county?
Yes, it's 136 county and 43 state. However, of that, we have some of the state that's on the county side, on secure side, the higher level offenses. Not all of them are on, say, the Class D side that are able to work and things to go out. But that's the actual specific breakdown as of today, which that changes daily. So
And you get more income from the state, so it's good to have at least some of that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We need to do a little, fix on a personal action request we had from the jail a little bit ago. Y'all want to go ahead and do that? I believe it was the March 28th meeting. We approved 8 years for Cody Buchanan, and once we do those, the judge's office gets documentation or fines with the other places. Verification. So we need to change that to 6 years, basically. So first, I need to retract a motion from, was it March 28th, right? Okay. So I make a motion to retract order number 14. Motion by me, seconded by Chris, to approve promotion with the eight years. I'm sorry. No, it was a 4-year experience, right? Yeah. No,
That was 8.
it was 8. There's right here it says 4, and then down here it says 8. Okay. So to remove that motion, order number 14. That's my motion.
Second.
Motion was to retract the motion.
March's motion, right?
Number 14 of March 28th meeting.
He was credited for 8, but then they only give him 4.
Yeah, so
But now
think
she's went back in and
found 6. They got it from letters from the other places and such, yeah.
So it's basically going to end up at 6.
Yes. And we'll do that in a second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. If notice any further discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll make a motion for the personal action request for Cody W. Buchanan, effective date March 20th to 2023, for a promotion, credited 6 years experience. He's going to be a captain in the stipend schedule LC-DC-1S4.
Second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this?
So when you take that back to that date, he's already been paid some,
There's been discrepancy since then, so he has not ever been promoted to that amount. So now that they've got the 6 years, they're going to back pay him.
Back paying a little bit. So
That's
he's
right.
never
6
got-
years,
he's never got
right,
any of that.
correct.
His pay's been based off 4 years.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha.
They're
So-
going to back pay him.
Yes.
That's cool.
Just making sure we get it right.
Yeah, we just want to make sure,
Document.
documentation.
Okay.
Second.
I got a second by Chris. Is there any further
No,
discussion?
I think Jamie.
Jamie got the second. Sorry. I thought when you said that, okay. I'll just go with the flow. I got a third by Chris then.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
If there's no further discussion on this action, can I get a roll call, please?
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up, department heads. Ginger Lawrence, come on up.
Morning.
I have a personnel action request for a part-time employee, Brooklyn Hardison, and she's going to be coming in with 3 years of experience. And I want it to start 6/26 of 2023.
Couple weeks then. Yay.
She's going to work part-time. She works for the court designated worker during the week, and she's going to work for us on the weekends.
So you're really getting full staff.
Yeah, 2 more full-time positions, and we've got a couple in the works right now.
How
So
wonderful for our
Mhm.
county. That is wonderful. Thank you for doing a good job.
You're
on
welcome.
that. Tyler's crunching the numbers.
I know. I talked to Tyler. I was making sure I was right.
Well, he's
I always
thorough.
make sure I have it down to the penny.
You got it.
No, we trust you.
All right. I make a motion for personal action request for Brooklyn Hardison. She will be part-time, but be paid at 3 years, full-time experience. Coming in with 3 years, and she'll be in the salary schedule, LC-EC-1S1.
Where's she from?
She's from here. She's
From
local.
here.
hmm
Okay.
She graduated from Russellville.
Second.
I like that.
Okay, I have a motion by Tyler and a second by Jason. Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And that's all I
Is
have.
that it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, road supervisor Kelly Wilson. Good morning, sir.
Come up here and tell us so you can
I've got 2 personnel requests for new hires. Jason Shoulders be a heavy equipment operator, and Steve Lack. 5 years experience on both of them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these are 2 positions we needed filled pretty bad.
Yes. Yes.
Their hire date was yesterday, actually,
Good for
but
you.
we had openings.
How many openings you still got?
That covers us for now, but we got one going part-time.
Well, we got one going part-time and one quitting we got one that's gonna be leaving us at the end of June, so
End of
that'll leave
June.
us with a potential full-time position open.
So there'll be
once
another
again.
full-time opening.
Yeah.
Yes. Good for you. I
Make
hope
a
you
motion
get it.
to approve the personal action request for Jason Shoulders, effective date June 12, 2023. 5 years credit experience, stipend schedule LC-RD-1S1.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. No further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve personal action request for Stephen F. Black, effective date June 12, 2023, given 5 years credit experience, and will be in the stipend schedule LC-RD-1S1.
He's already out there working.
Got them going.
Yes, that's great.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. No further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you, Court.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for your work. Next up, Archives, Ms. Denise Shoulders.
Wanted to let you know that the Saturdays have already paid off. We've already had somebody take advantage of that, and I wanted to remind everybody that we do have the overnight research event next Friday night into Saturday from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. We still have 4 open spots out of 10. So we have 6 already registered to come and spend the night in the archives and research.
Cool. Good deal.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
making
Denise.
this.
And if they're interested, who do they need to get a
Yes,
hold of?
if they're interested, they can register online on our Facebook page. If they're not online on Facebook or anything like that, they can contact the archives and we will get them on that list.
And what's their phone number?
It is 270-726-8179. If you call today, you'll get Peggy or Carrie.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Good job for that.
All right, next up, Solid Waste, Nathan Cockrell. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning. So, had some reports, y'all's tablets there. Litter abatement, just to report on that, we did have 41 miles, 307 bags, 9 tires. Glad to see those numbers come up. Appreciate the jail crew working. They got 25.5 miles and 233 bags. So appreciate their help out there.
It looks much.
Yeah, the work they've done on the 4 lanes has been greatly appreciated.
Yes.
So, and I had also a recycling center report. We had 24 bales of cardboard, nearly 30,000 pounds with those bales, and some paper and metal with that. They're humming away pretty good out there. We seem to have all our equipment issues worked out, and we're sending off a load today of cardboard, so we're glad to keep it moving. And we also had a recycling grant that was approved for us. We got all the money we asked for, so we're glad about that. It was $7,700 for a new scale, since our old scales seems about to give up the ghost. We wanted to get a new one, and we also had some advertising money that we approved as well. So just needed approval for Judge Baker to sign that.
Make a motion to allow Judge Baker to sign the Kentucky Pride Recycling Grant.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any discussion on that?
I have a question.
Go ahead. Or do you have a discussion about?
No, I just
Oh,
have
okay.
a question for after this.
All right. If no further discussion, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Jackson.
And I do appreciate Amanda explain everything about the department's finances, and if you had any other questions, just know that I'm here and I can work on those. Be glad to help if you had any questions.
I do have a question.
Okay.
We had a problem with the recycling center that takes our recycling, and they had warned that our recycling was contaminated, et cetera. Has that improved?
Sam told me, the manager at Scott Waste, that it has improved. That he's had no further complaints from West Rock and
That's
Louisville.
West
So,
Rock was my question.
So it sounds like things have gotten at least somewhat better. So we're glad to hear
Yes,
that.
that
So,
was my question.
so we're continuing to try to educate. I'm gonna try to do a little bit at the fair this weekend, trying to just let folks know, what you can and can't do with recycling. So,
Well, that's a plus in the right direction, so thank you.
absolutely. Are there any other questions or Anything? Okay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right. I don't think, are you here with the Humane Society? Okay, just making sure, just want to make sure, give you guys an option. All right. If that's it, let's move on to judges' announcements. Pardon me? I have one. I have exactly one, and it is, going to talk about the fair. This Saturday, June 17th, is the kickoff. There is a lot of interesting events going on. Pancake eating, ice cream sandwich eating contest, cupcake wars. Not sure what that is. Lots of different things. And then Saturday night is the demo derby.
Judge Baker, don't forget to announce the dunking booth, and then you will be in there.
Yes, myself and several sitting around here will be in the Dunkin' booth. So if you want to take out your aggression, come on and take it out. I'll
I'm just going to
gladly sit there.
I'm going to spend at least $100 on Dunkin' Jason.
No, I got some. Where's the proceeds go? Who's the proceeds go to?
Proceeds go to
District 4.
go to the fair to.
District 4 road
funds.
But there are several interesting people going to be in the Dunkin' booth, so please come out and take out your aggression on your magistrate or your judge or your jailer or your sheriff or.
Oh, I'm Dunkin' sheriff too.
But anyway, there's a lot going on. On Thursday night of next week, we'll have the pageants. Friday night will be a tractor and truck pull, and then the following Saturday will be another demolition night. So, love to see everyone come out. You can look it up on Facebook, or I think that's probably your best. I know there's been a lot of ads on the radios. So just appreciate everybody's attendance and coming out and joining in on that. I don't think we have any reports, so we'll move on to citizens' participation. If anybody in the audience would like to come speak, please make your way. But please introduce yourself, the district you live in, and what you want to speak to us about.
Thank you for this chance to come and speak and everything on a concern of mine that's just recently I've found out about in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for the court to hear me out. My name's Darlene Moore. I live in the South Logan area, and I wanted to share with you what else resides in the county. Almost 2 weeks ago, I received a Facebook posting, and it was Texas. And then I had a friend in Robertson County, Tennessee, which is right over the line, and she made a comment. And it was about a certain plant, and it was in the paper. I've got a copy. And it's poison hemlock. And she commented on the post, and she said, 2 years ago, that's probably what sent me to the ER with an allergic reaction. And knowing this girl, friend, and everything, I thought, ooh, I'll pay attention, you know. And so she mentioned that she has also seen it more so now than she ever had, you know, or has. It's out there. She said that it just is everywhere. So I became just so engrossed in it, and I thought, if it's in Robertson County, is it here in Logan County? Mm-hmm. And I have been possessed, which is going down the road and going, that's it. And especially on my road that I live on, you know, of course, the closer you are to something, you're like, oh. And even about a mile down the road around a mailbox, it's just there, you know. And it's especially in places where it has not been mowed. You know, farmers usually mow and keep their, you know, that. But it's actually in clusters. And anyway, I decided to even look further. 431 South, I can tell you, I can take you to the plants and show you. Right at Carpenter's, right there at the railroad track, it's right there. I contacted, after I saw this article though, I contacted Denise Shoulders with the News Democrat and Leader, and I told her about it, and she said, well, I'll do a story. Well, her story came out in the newspaper, and I don't know how many got the newspaper and read it, but it was last Thursday's paper. Poison hemlock poses Logan County threat. Okay, so anyway, I told her about it, so she was going to do a story. I think she talked to Mr. Baker and about it, and then talked to Leanne at the extension office, and just getting a good story. Well, in the meantime, a citizen out on Ellis Road mowed over some accidentally, and it's in this article all about the mice. I mean, it's poisonous, it's deadly, it's toxic. It's toxic from the stem, the leaves, the seeds, every bit of it's toxic. Anyway, so my husband's on the board of directors for Farm Bureau. So I was going to send things with him, but we have a women's committee also, and the women meet and everything like that. So last night I went and presented it to them, letting them be aware and everything of it. They were concerned and had 3 different individuals had contact with it last year. The secretary there, she mentioned in Brookhaven, she had started mowing last year around the yard. And by the time she got back to mowing the second round, she started getting all this reaction. And it's a respiratory, it'll get you mowing. If you mow over it, it just consumes you. So anyway, she told about her story and about her husband worked for the railroad. So her husband was able to go, ooh, you probably got into this poison hemlock. And that makes sense because at Carpenter's, it's right there. And you can go off of where elementary school and go over right before you go over the railroad tracks on the left. And it's a cluster there. The bad thing about it is, and I've taken it on myself because it's not just South Logan, it's not Russellville. One guy last night said last year he was out with another guy and somebody was mowing or doing something in a field and he started swelling up and everything and went to a neighbor's house. And I think Benadryl seems to help, but it doesn't just, knock it, So anyway, Denise was kind enough to find this for me. It's a front and back, but it's very good information. So I'm just asking that somehow education is key, okay? And so many people get out during the summer, but they just need to know about it. But there is how to identify the ways to control it. And if we wait too long, it's going to control us big time because those seeds generate, and there are more seeds. And there are places down from us that a whole solid county road is just covered.
It looks a lot like Queen Anne's lace.
Queen Anne's lace. And there are pictures, that, you can see the difference. This can grow from 4 feet on up to 10 feet tall.
And Queen Anne's lace doesn't get 10 feet tall. There's your difference.
But I've got, and I don't know how many of you get the paper, but Denise was kind enough to give me the copy of the newspaper and then that sheet of.
Do you have some of those copies to give
I
us?
do,
Okay,
I do. And just like a little child that says, oh, that little pretty white flower that's flowering. And they, and that's what another person last night, and it was amazing. It wasn't probably 15, 16 of us last night, but 3 out of that whole bunch had a similar something going on. And this one, the Hugheses from Auburn, their maybe daughter-in-law was getting ready to I'll put those wild flowers in an arrangement. And her husband says, oh, no, that's poisonous. You touch it, you breathe it.
Well, as I recall, it's even bad for livestock. If livestock
Oh,
gets
yes,
curious and choose
yes.
it, they can get violent.
Yes. Oh, they die. And I mean, they cause birth defects
So I don't
too.
think people realize the danger you're talking about.
And, you know, it can go over into a field where there's hay or whatever. They may not get it, well, because they're going to eat the green grass. But when they bale it or, you know, everything and put it up and feed it to them in the winter, then, you know, it's, you're thinking, well, why did my cow die? You know, but it's probably through what they were fed. So anyway, I've got this. I don't know if pass it out.
What we'll do is we'll take this information and try to at least get it out on our Facebook page. I don't think there's
Okay.
anything we can really do about it, but
But I mean, there's different ways to. There's all kinds. It's a very good, helpful pages about it that's got the control, different ways to control it, and you really don't need to mow it down while it's flowered and seeding and all that, because what you're doing, you're mowing it and then the seeds are just moving along. Do I need one more? And okay.
Thank you for that info, and like the judge said, we'll try to
I mean,
spread
just
the word.
consider, you know, what, and then. But I'll have for everybody else to come see me, you know, and everything.
Awareness is more.
Education is key.
I mean, I must be living under a rock. It's the first time I ever heard about it.
Well, 2 weeks ago, if I had not seen this on a Facebook post, and then a friend, you know, it was Texas, and you think Texas, but they say it's in every state. It was introduced from Europe as an ornamental.
Yes, I read.
And Socrates was killed by this. He was, I mean, it's on this page where he was poisoned. So, anyway.
So we could just take this front and back and make like a.
Right.
Something we can put on
I think I've got that on electronic form.
Yes,
I'm pretty
Denise had
sure
sent
that
it. Yeah.
the extension, or not the, possibly the extension office, I can't remember, sent me that. I'll make sure that we can get it out there for you.
I mean, you know,
But
it's just.
Right. Well, we appreciate you bringing that to our
Well,
attention, and we'll see what we can
And
do.
I'm planning on, the Women's Committee last night just said, well, we need to be at the fair. So we're gonna set up a booth at the fair and pass out
Have a
and
plant
everything,
there.
and have a informational, you know, so.
Thank you for.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
making it-
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, it's just gonna get worse and worse if we don't get it under control, so. And it's got all kinds of ways. I mean, you gotta wear gloves, a mask, suit up to even, I mean, you better, or else.
Well, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else for citizens' participation at this point?
Had some folks here that had some nuisance concerns from
Okay.
North Logan, and I mentioned it might be awesome if they could come to court and share, and they're here. So I'm really glad they're
Thank you. Please come forward, and as I said, state your name and your.
My name's Jeff Dudley, and this is my wife Angie. And for you two guys, I didn't give her that black eye. The Chihuahua did. I'm gonna get this straight. Thank you guys for letting us speak this morning. I've worked with Jason and Nathan before about a couple of these. I know I was really concerned the last couple of years about the trash buildup on 431 north of Lewisburg, from Wolf Lick Creek to Dunmore. And I understand that the previous administration stopped the inmate program, and didn't realize how good that program was till it was stopped. And I understand they've started it back, which appreciate that. And I know it's going to take time to get caught up. But a couple of my concerns is right on the corner of the H.W. McPherson Road and 431. I know last year before last, Nathan went down there twice. This gentleman just let the trash just pile up in his yard. It would blow across the road, get in the road, and I just got tired of cleaning it up. So anyway, Nathan did what he could with them, but it just seems like there's not a lot of regulation there that, you can't really hold them accountable, if you don't have the authority to enforce financial, something. So anyway, this guy, he got creative. Instead of picking up his trash, he just don't mow his yard anymore, which is okay. It's about 4 foot high now. So, I'm okay. But the problem I got is about 150 feet north of his house, parallels 431, there is a trash pile there. I don't think you could get 2 dump trucks. and it's house trash. It's not buildings tore down or anything like it. It's house trash. And I'm like, you know what? At a minimum, there ought to be something that says, hey, okay, you're going to store your trash in your yard. You can have a 6x6 or 8 foot or 8x8 total enclosure. But when it gets above that or outside that, then you're liable for a fine. I don't know if that's the answer. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to come up with the answer. But it's a problem. And I'm not originally from Logan County. I'm from Virginia originally. But, man, this is a beautiful county. And it's just a shame when just a handful of people just infringe upon everybody's rights.
And we live right there on that creek. And when the wind gets up, it just picks that trash up and blows it right into the creek. And it washes down the waterway. So it ends up on everybody.
But again, I'm taking, these guys they know about it and they've addressed it, but it seems like they're handcuffed what they can do. Now, if we go to the other end of the road, there's another gentleman there that owns 4.5 acres, and Jason and I talked about this yesterday. I told him, I said, I don't want to come up there tomorrow and throw you under the bus. And he says, I know where you're talking about. And this borders McPherson and the Shady Cliff Road. So everybody goes at Shady Cliff to eat that comes off 431 goes right by this. They'll know the place. This guy has, I'll start with his vehicles. He's got a ton of cars, trucks, boats just sitting everywhere. And some of it, I think, is within the 30-foot right-of-way of what the county owns. If you go just past that, he's got a building that's right on the road, and he's got his junk piled up out to the road. On the right-hand side of the road, he has driven metal fence posts, 6-foot posts. And I know that's because there was 2 ladies that would stop there and wait on the school bus for their children, picking them up, dropping them off. So I know he drove them so they wouldn't pull off right there. Well, I come by last week, and he had the road blocked with the trailer. And this is no exaggeration. I might have had 2 inches between the fence post and his trailer to get by. So we kind of we didn't get in a heated argument, but it's like, man, if you're going to block the road, leave enough room for at least somebody to get by. So that's one part of it. Trash, there's a trash problem. If I would challenge anybody to drive right by there today, and I mean, it's as bad as I've seen it in 5 years there. The second problem is the amount of animals he has. And guys, this is the only time I have ever come to fiscal court or ever called complaining in 34 years living on that road. And so I didn't know who to call about the animals. I called the Humane Society, EPA, and somebody else. And I was kind of being a smart aleck. I said, how many animals are you allowed per square inch on your property? I said, because he's got 4.5 acres, and I've never seen so many chickens, ducks, geese, pigeons, cows,
horses,
donkeys.
goats.
And Jason made a comment yesterday, yeah, there's not a blade of grass there. And I'm telling you, if he had 2 giraffes, he would match what Noah had on the ark. He's got that many animals. So again, I'm just here to try to support these guys and saying, hey, I mean, if there's anything fiscal court can do to put in place to hold these people accountable. So,
Well, not only are there a lot of animals, but when they do have, like, when they slaughter the animals, they just do it right there on the road, and the blood just runs across the road and then right down into the creek and into our waterways.
first time I seen it, I was scared to go through there late in the evening. I thought, man, is this a
Kill
satanic
somebody.
cult done moved in here? So but anyway, so the last thing, and this just real quick, of course, and I know Jason's working on it. I know money's limited. The McPherson Road is getting in bad shape.
Really bad.
But I have talked to one of the guys at the highway department. The worst part of that, where the ditches are so deep, washed out, I got 1,300 feet of road frontage there, and I've offered that up. If they need to, clean up some of it, push banks out, if they want to make a couple of pull-offs where people can at least pass on that road, because there's about 400 or 500 feet there. If you meet somebody who got trailers, both of you got trailers, it's a nightmare trying to back a trailer up that far to get off the road. So anyway, any questions? I appreciate your time.
We appreciate y'all coming, and y'all seem just to be some people that live on the road and just wants to be better. You're not
It was
not
Chris-
after nobody. You just want
That road was pristine when we first moved there, and now it's not.
Well,
We've recently, we've got what we call it, the nuisance committee, is that right? Me and Chris is on. And we had a meeting with a lady at the state that our ordinances that we have are very, very outdated, very, very old. And that we are going to have to look at a few things just to, at least to protect people. If somebody else's property is affecting your property in some kind of way, we've got to be able to do something to remedy that.
I'm telling you, there's a lady that's got a house right in the middle. It's 4.5 acres surrounds it, and she's afraid to say anything because she's afraid it'll get worse. And I'm like, I don't know how it could get much worse. I mean, it's horrible. But I appreciate your time, and if anybody's free after this thing and they want a free lunch, if you just drive north of Lewisburg and through the McPherson Road, I'll buy you lunch. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you for your time. All right, do we have any more citizen participation? If not, let's move on to old business. Let's discuss bid for food service at Logan County Detention Center. Do we have any updates on that?
I've got it's more or less the terms, and then what the food went up approximately 170 calories. All the foods and baked goods are a larger cut. More variety in the meals with larger portions, and then we're adding milk twice a week. And I know we discussed this before. It may not seem like much, but I personally like to eat, and that's a big morale booster on just the staff interaction, just with the inmates in general. You add to their diet. Just the interaction is just much more cordial. I don't know how to stress it enough. Just little things that go a long way just on the daily life and the interaction, just back and forth, makes a big difference on cutting down on issues, improves morale overall for everybody. So just something to take into consideration.
Was that the only bid we got?
Yeah. Yes.
And so based off your recommendation, that's
yes.
This company.
And we've got talking with other providers, being at Jailer's Conference last week. We've got a great kitchen manager. Our kitchen manager is phenomenal. You can have any company, but if you don't have a good person at the helm there on the day-to-day operations, she's fantastic. They put in a lot of hours. And they run a tight ship and do a fantastic job. They really do. But I couldn't be more pleased with what we've got.
I think we just continue to, we'll continue to pay the base calories that they need, nutrients that they need to, not be starving.
And as far as,
but then if the inmates are going to complain about it, the money they spend on commissary, which I think is how you're paying for the additional cost.
We are, and unfortunately, with the cost of everything has gone up. Just talking with the owner, it's not because he wants to add on, or make prices change. It's for anything and everything, regardless, food service, whatever. But his prices went up about 35%.
Go up on commissary.
Yeah, well.
But I mean, I don't want to start feeding them steak.
No.
I want their next goal in life to be get out of jail.
Yes.
So,
does every inmate eat 3 meals a day? I mean, I guess what I'm asking is there a lot of food that's bought that's not used?
Like the sack? No, not really. No, they eat pretty well everything they get, especially the work crews, and then they take sack lunches. We try to do a little extra for them because they're burning so many calories. I mean, all the guys that's out working every day, but they take sack lunches out with them, on those details that are prepared prior. So for those outside crews, but
So basically,
They
we're-
get feed from your jail when they do the outside work.
Yes, they prepare sandwiches and sack lunches. The kitchen does prior. They know how many people's going out on work details, and they make those prior to, and they take them with them to whatever it is. If they're going to Auburn or to or over here or whatever the case may be for the different crews. They cemetery crew that helps out with that.
So this price per meal is kind of an average
Yes.
of what it would be in
Yes.
the system
Yes.
over here or
Yeah.
out. And right now, since you're at 179, it'd be about 1722.
$1.72. $1.72.
Yeah, per meal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate, I guess, from the accounting side of this, to pay for what we, like Tyler said, we budget and pay for the base meal, but then
It's roughly about $1,200 a week difference.
so y'all track the differences?
Yes.
But the $1.72 per meal amount, does that include the higher?
That should be the new price, yes.
That includes the higher calorie meals?
Yes,
This
which
was-
is 2,800 is what it is.
This was from 517, this bid, and we got verified that this bid's the higher calorie meal. Correct.
Yeah. Which, it was gonna go up regardless, because of just the cost of food and the, just where we're having to shop from and where they're getting their food from. And some of the things that they've had to change vendors too on, say, where they order from this food supply store, they're not able to get something from this guy, they're having to go over here and shop around too. But it's just the cost of it in general has gone up roughly 35%, just with the cost,
So if we
cost of
approve-
everything.
If we approve this bid, then that's the county paying for the high level, correct?
Yeah, which I'm,
But based off what you said, we'd have to have this modified to just what meet. Well, I mean, this says it meets or exceeds DOC standards.
yeah, I guess whenever we approve using Kelwell, we need to somehow have that worked out. But how do we differentiate the part that y'all are gonna pay for at a commissary versus the part the county pays for, the taxpayer pays for? How are we gonna differentiate that?
You can't unless you have two pricing schedules. 'Cause this pricing schedule is the higher tier.
So I don't want taxpayers to pay for higher.
So you're trying to figure out how to approve it and at the lower tier and the
What we're doing
commissary
now.
account pays for the
Additional.
other.
I would call it the standard tier because that's the standard.
So why don't you approve the standard tier pricing and give the jailer the option to pay for the difference out of commissary funds? I mean, can't you do that?
I don't know that we have the standard.
I was gonna say, what is the standard?
I thought we had that last meeting.
No,
And
Yeah, we
I'm
had
sorry, I
last
thought that
meeting.
was this, but what we're paying difference, it's separated, it's roughly 1,200 that we're paying per week different to add on.
Because based off of the last year's bid, it was the standard tier.
Yeah.
And then you've went in and paid the difference between the standard and the high tier.
Yes.
This bid's the high tier, so if we approve.
Yeah. Well, that's to account for the increase just in food in
Right,
general, not
plus-
necessarily the higher calories.
count.
Yeah.
That's what, that we got confirmation that that's what that is, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That $1.72 based on our count today per meal would be the higher end meal. So if we approve that, then taxpayers gonna be paying for the higher end meal. I mean, I know that the jailer's gonna, use commissary to do that difference, but we gotta find a way that we're gonna differentiate that if we don't have it.
So can we request that this bid be modified to include a third column of the price per
I can.
standard meal? And
I
in that
can.
way, just for the record, we've got pricing
Yes.
breakdown.
Yes, I can get that for you.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do.
So table this until next meeting? and
Or I
get
don't know
that, Or
how
approve
soon
it?
you can.
Let me step
want-
out and call
you wanna
the owner,
Yeah.
Mr. Walling, and
Yeah.
yes,
We'll
see if
just-
he can't
we'll table it
email
for
me
now.
something.
Table and revisit it here in a few minutes.
Yes.
You can get that
Yeah.
done for us.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good idea. Chris.
All right, well, let's move on to new business. Acknowledge and receive the Logan County Public Library fiscal year 23-24 budget. Welcome, Mr. King Simpson.
Good morning, everyone. Thank y'all for your time. I think you've got the budget there. Only one thing I'll really point out that's a major change over last year. You all may be aware that we did a pretty large-scale community survey the first half of this year. And a lot of the feedback we got was, it basically boiled down to people that use the library really like it. They have good experiences there, but a lot of people aren't hearing about what's going on at the library, what all the offerings are. We do a lot more than, just check out books, even though that's still a big part of what we do. So we do have a pretty major increase to our community relations. Everything else is fairly standard, but that's going to be a big area of focus for us, just making sure the community is aware of the resources that they have available through the library. If you all have any questions, I'll be glad
Probably know this, but
about this.
there was talk or something where the state changed the law to where we're gonna have to approve the budget. Some of these budgets, is that still not in effect?
My understanding is that's
Not happening?
though what changed was the tax rate.
We approved the tax rate instead of acknowledging the
Right.
tax rate.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just a tax.
You can, I think you can, my understanding is, I'm not a lawyer. You can acknowledge the tax rate as long as we're taking the compensating rate. If we go above that, we have to have specific approval
it's not
from
the
the
actual
court.
budget.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Is this budget based on taking the compensating rate?
It is, yes.
And I think that already come to us. We did that 2 or 3 months ago.
No, it's usually in August
Okay.
when we have that, yeah. So, but yeah, this is anticipating taking the compensating rate, which is what we've done ever since I've been.
The major
doing
difference
this.
was the community relations.
Right, we're putting some extra funds there to do some extra marketing and outreach in the community to make sure they're aware of what the library
It's a
offers.
good thing.
Make a motion to acknowledge the Logan County Public Library operating budget, funding year ending June 30th, 2024.
I second that.
Okay. Have a motion and a second.
Community outreach was
Any
good.
further discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Philpott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
We might have another citizen.
Thank you all. The only other thing I had to mention was, I did pass out to everyone, this is a copy of our calendars, of our events for all ages for the entire summer. So we have stuff for kids, teens, adults. Encourage everybody to participate in those. Those are all free events that are, you always hear those people that say there's nothing going on here, which is not true, but here's a great way to get people plugged in with some free events for their whole family and the community. I encourage y'all to utilize that and let others know about it. I've also attached my business card. If you guys ever have questions, concerns, ideas, anything like that, I'd love to discuss those with you. I've also got something about our partnership with the UK, about our Radon program initiative. But just thank you all for what you do. Thank you for your time, and hope to see you at the library. We will. We'll be set up at the fair as well. Yep.
There you go.
Good deal. Thank you for
All
coming.
right. Thank y'all.
Thank you, King. All right, next up, open bids for the HVAC maintenance at the Logan County Detention Center. At this point, I have 4 bids. So we'll work on those. All right, the first one's from HMC.
HMC's quote, quarterly PM on 13 package and split system to include filter changes and annual condenser cool cleaning, annual PM on MAU, whatever it is, as noted on the tasking, annual PM on the, should be maintenance on the exhaust fans is noted on the tasking. Annual total for providing preventive maintenance as noted above, $6,860. Add for 3 additional condenser pool cleaning, quarterly inspections, $3,900. 8 additional filter changes during the year, $4,272. If you elect to include all items above, annual total is $15,032.
How much was it for changing a filter?
Well, it's 13 total.
Well, that's not just changing the filter. It's quite a
Preventive
lot of different things that's involved in that.
I would just listen.
This is,
The next one is PSK.
PSK's annual bid was $12,500.
They should have followed the bid spec,
Well, unless you're, if the base items,
Next up is Lee Company. Yeah, that's why I put it to the back.
You know, be kind of comparing if you don't know.
Lee Company's annual bid is $13,248.
That's between these two. Positions. So maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
This one's not.
Sorry, I'm just gonna make sure I get this right.
Well, we put the spec out, so they're bidding it per our spec, so whatever that.
That is what it should be.
Is that right?
I don't know, I'd have to get the advertisement for bid and the spec that they put out. I can tell you why there's ads.
Can we look at that just to make sure that we did not miss that or something?
Is this one 13 something?
13,248.
One's 14, one's 12, and this one's 12.50, 12.5.
I think that's
Well, this one's
Yeah,
our bowling
see.
green. Where are these at?
See, these two ad options here are in their base bid.
Needs to.
Right there.
Their base bid included that.
Right.
Oh, well, that makes a difference.
Yeah, so
This one's out of us. Where's
to
this
get,
one?
this is their base bid, because these things
You get to
here
announce the name
are
of that
in
one.
our base
This
bid.
one.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
There's their total.
Schwarding?
Well, no, I'm
Where are
saying
they from?
make it to table it
Oh,
until
okay,
the
we
January
have-
use it.
Louisville.
Fourth bid from Chardine Mechanical.
That's right.
Is that right?
Mhm.
I got that right, Jimmy.
It's pretty good, bud.
This is-
Based on our phone calculator, their yearly price is $53,940.
53.
940.
Was they replacing a couple of the units every year?
Well,
I don't know.
It just says
That's,
totally monthly price, $4,495.
Judge,
Times 12 is 50.
make a motion that we table the decision on award of this and allow the jailer to review these to compare and make a recommendation in the future.
It's perfect with me.
I like local. I like it.
Yeah, we definitely want to go local. if possible.
Local.
Well, what we want to do is let the jailer and his staff look at it and make sure that everything is apples to apples on the 4 bids to make a decision from that point.
Yeah, but, and then I'm fine with that, but these ad options on HMC are included in the base bid of PSK. Because they're right there, it says add 3 additional condensing coil cleaning.
Yeah, their total is
quarterly.
15,000, right?
Well, it's already on this one,
That one was the 12.
and then it says add for 8 additional filter changes, and then right here, it's already
Yeah, they just
on this
broke
one
it
right
down to
here.
give us.
HMC was what, 9?
The total's still 15,032, right?
That's right.
Okay, 15. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Where's he getting the 15?
I'll second Chris's motion.
Right here, so if you take, for some reason, he's got this 13 packages at 6,800, and then 3 additional coil, 3,900, and 8 additional filter changes, 42.
That's for the 15.
And that, you add all that together, you get to 15,032. And then right here is,
Because all these add-ons were already included in this,
That's
for
right.
that price.
that's right.
Whew, okay.
I guess the question may become, did the specs call for those add-on things as far as the base bid?
The base bid should be there on your number 11 on the agenda.
Like I said, be able to compare apples to apples.
Yes, yes. That's exactly what I want to make sure that everything is the way as should be. Okay, we have a motion to table in a second. Any more discussion on that? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you for coming and.
Do we want to take a short recess, or do we want to continue on?
Thomas copies. Thomas's copies.
What y'all think?
Whatever y'all want.
Let's take a
Yeah,
short
that'd be fine.
10-minute.
I've got places to move.
and told her, and I hadn't had a chance to tell you about it. She's from Texas, and let me tell you. Let me tell you, she's been
Thank you for allowing that little recess. During that recess, I found out my daughter got her driver's license. Everyone, be afraid, be very afraid.
I may have to request Sheriff patrolling Marshall Road.
Sean, he did.
He'll be. Put a hiring freeze on that.
All right. And then she's going to let me know that she didn't appreciate that. Next up on new business is open bids for treatment of Red River, Whippoorwill Creek, Little Whippoorwill, it's hard to say 3 times in a row, Whippoorwill Creek, Pleasant Grove Creek, and with Vetroback black fly treatment for fiscal year 23-24. We only received 1 bid, and that was from InScience, which has been doing it in the past several years. For a daily cost of $750.
No, and they only do it like once or twice. How many times do they do it?
I think we allow up to 18.
You know, I think you
I know
usually
once or
bill about
twice,
12 to 15, but we have in our budget like 18 or 20.
Yeah, it was once or twice a month.
And it was $750, is that what he read?
$750 standard labor rate.
Yeah, that's what it's always been, the $750,
So it doesn't look like
It's
it
not like
changed any.
$750 a day from now
Just-
on.
No, per tree.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure people what to eat.
Yeah. All right.
Does anybody need to see this?
District 2, your time to shine.
Do you want to make that motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. Thank you.
I didn't leave.
Make a motion for the treatment of Red River Whippoorwill, Little Whippoorwill, and Pleasant Grove Creek with Vetroback at a cost of $750 per treatment.
Excellent.
From InScience.
Yeah, by InScience, sorry.
Second.
And I have a second from Jason. Is there any other discussion? I know Mark and I have been talking quite frequently about this, and he has a really good understanding of how this works, and it's been I think he's done a really good job for us. So if there's no other discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 4, approve the memorandum, excuse me, man, it's not working today. Memorandum of agreement between Logan County Fiscal Court, the Barren River Area Development District for the assistance of the reapportment for county magisterial districts and precincts realigning with retroactive May 31st, 2023. We had voted on this previously, but it's just basically so we can sign the contract. I just need approval to sign the contract retroactive in May 31st.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and second. No other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 5, approve the county treasurer's continuation bond for the period of 7/1/23 through 7/1/24.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Who's bond?
States.
Treasurer?
Oh, man, sorry.
It's for Amanda's bond.
We got the bond man.
No further discussion. Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 6, approve the second reading for ordinance number 23-230-01, an amendment to ordinance number 04-230, an ordinance relating to a certain amendments to the personnel policy and procedures to create a new position at part-time intern co-op student for the Logan County Judge Executive's Office.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and I appreciate that.
Do we want to do that additional position we're going to add now, or do it during the salary schedule, the second reading? What would make more sense? Do it on this one for the second reading? We're going to add that ACO position.
Just do it on the salary schedule. 'Cause we
Yeah,
just-
yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir, please. All right, motion and a second. If there's any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up, approve the second reading of ordinance number 23-230-02, an amendment to ordinance number 08-230-03, ordinance updating the compensation plan for fiscal year 23-24.
So we have wanted to include from now on, starting from now, this period forward, we want to include in our salary schedule the number of positions that are allotted to each department. So I do believe that y'all saw that copy, right? Did y'all see that? Okay. So just basically, and I think also we'll do, we haven't worked it out yet. Like Amanda, me, and and the personnel committee and HR, we're going to start a spreadsheet that's kind of like a running total and see how many vacancies we have, yada, yada, yada. And, but I think it's important that we start to include this into our salary schedule so that everybody just kind of, keeps in mind how many positions they have or whatnot, and how many stipends you can, or how many levels of positions your department has as well. It'll just kind of define that. So that's one thing that we changed between now and this reading. Another thing was that we also want to add a new job, and be the animal control officer, director of animal control. And I sent out, y'all see the salary schedule for that, and also a job description I sent out to the judge, and personnel has that, and as well as the sheriff. So, now that we're not going to continue, Logan County Main Side is not going to continue doing our ACO. So we're going to take that over ourselves, and kind of transition into that. And that job description also includes that I think it needs to be a joint venture between, as far as the supervisor goes, between the county judge and the sheriff. So I think the sheriff can kind of oversee the operations of when the ACO is going out to calls and being called, and with the EOC connection, and they have the radio access and being out on call, that sort of thing. And I think the judge's office needs to kind of make sure that the proper paperwork for population and for animal, population of animals and intakes and outtakes and that sort of, or intakes and adoptions and rescues or whatnot. So that's pretty much the only changes we've had between now and this reading.
And you said that salary schedule for that new job has been sent out?
Yes.
Yeah, I never got it.
Did you not?
It's on your thing right if you want to look at it.
Item number 16.1 on your. 16.1.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I see it now.
That's going to be, animal control officer is going to have, the qualifications to be.
Right. And I will mention, though, with an exception of, I talked to Jason about this, and he looked it over, and we could probably remove number 14 where it says, I copied most of this from another county, just so you know.
Number 15.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, you're right, number 15. Basically, the duties were clean animal shelter daily, responds to public concerns, by investigating violations of animal control, enforces Kentucky revised statutes 258 and administrative regulations, chapter 5. And those just kind of list all the state laws with animals. Maintains positive public relations for the animal shelter, observes areas of alleged violations, and interviews available witnesses to determine if laws are being violated, informs persons perpetrating inhumane acts of laws and penalties for violations, issues citations relating to animal control violations, aids animals in distress by feeding starving animals and freeing trapped animals, removes animals from inhumane conditions, and drives vehicle to transport animals to shelter for treatment and care, inspects establishments housing or exhibiting animals to a certain compliance with humane laws, writes reports of activities, patrols areas within the county to detect violations, may use tranquilizer guns to subdue vicious and fractious animals and transport captured animals to animal shelter. We haven't been the Humane Society has not been doing that, tranquilizer guns, but at one time, the sheriff's office had a tranquilizer gun, I think it's something that could be used in some events to where.
I think it could be in there, and because you may potentially do.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we could do that. So down the road, we do whatever certifications that we got to have to allow that. Investigates incidents involving animal cruelty or animal bites, animal nuisances reported by members of the public. The part that we could probably remove is inspects pet shops, grooming shops, dog schools, and dog and cat fanciers to ensure that animals are handled in accordance with the applicable ordinances and regulations. I don't know that that's something that we really want to get into, so we could remove number 15 if y'all think we should.
I don't see the necessary for that.
What do you do about breeders? You know,
Well, that's not
It didn't
including
say
breeders.
breeders, it said like pet shops, and grooming shops, like we have animal
that-
grooming places here in the county or in the city. I don't have any. Well, we might have one or two in the county. But, so yeah, I think we could, unless that becomes an issue, I think we could cross that out. Performs euthanasia on injured, sick, or dangerous animals by means of lethal injection. Testifies to court and at hearings on the enforcement of animal control citations. Supervises state prisoners, court referral workers, and volunteers assigned to the animal shelter as necessary. Create and maintain good working relationships with animal adoption agencies or organizations to avoid shelter overpopulation. Responsible for seeing that all animals in shelter are cared for and fed daily. Other duties may be assigned.
You know, Tyler, I think originally we had talked about number 15, but honestly, I don't see a huge reason to pull that out because, I mean, and realistically with the groomers and such, I think it'd be great for them to have a working relationship with them, you know. I don't see any reason to pull it out and then have to in 6 months to a year have to add it right back in because we might have issue with someone.
A grooming place.
Yeah.
I wanted to add possibly one thing, and Ann and the judge can correct me if I didn't hear this properly, but you know, at the health board meeting, I asked a question about the responsibilities in working with the environmentalists about reporting.
Right.
Animal bites or whatever?
Yes, and she stated that she was not getting all of those reports.
She did.
Correct.
And I believe maybe a sentence should be added as part of that responsibility to have a relationship with the appropriate personnel at the health department.
Agreed.
Oh, good job, good job. You're right.
Agreed. Or just make sure that every animal bite is being reported to the health department. I think there was something in there about, I apologize, I believe it had about reporting.
Writes reports of activities. But it doesn't really specifically.
Well, I just didn't know, want to add a point of emphasis, as far as.
So where was the
specifically
one
this
about maintaining?
4, maintain positive public relations.
With yeah, okay.
That wouldn't cover it.
I think on number 11, rights, reports, and activities, and I think maybe we need to include such language as reporting to the proper authorities, and in this case, a dog bite needs to go to the health department.
Reporting to appropriate authorities.
Animal bites.
For
All reporting.
Well, patrols areas within the county to detect violations of animal control ordinances and regulations, responds to incidents that include stray animals, animal bites, noise complaints, and animal cruelty. And then in that, we could put something about reports to proper authorities on any of these
On
violations.
12, just add it to 12 is what you're talking about?
14.
It's 12.
It's 12, I think.
Oh, there's 12 and 14 kind of says that too.
Yeah, it's kinda-
Investigates incidents involving animal cruelty, animal bites. Oh, did I do it twice? Is it in there twice?
Well, it says patrols and investigates. I guess those are similar in
Yeah,
that.
you've got it in there twice. It could be added to either one of those
Okay.
sections.
I'll get it added in there.
And reports all to authorities.
I just thought, might
Yeah.
specifically mention, working with the health department personnel.
And I didn't notice that.
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance number 23-230-02 in regards to updating the compensation plan for the personnel policies, but also adding the new job position of animal control officer director, and as presented in the job description as in salary schedule as presented, but also in the job description we will add requirement to report to the proper authorities on dog bites.
Sounds good.
Second.
Hannah, do you have all that? All right. If Hannah's got it, well, I think we all do. So if there's any other discussion on this?
Is this the person that would be called for, like, if cattle are out, or is that or is that the sheriff's office? Like, we've got.
Generally, they call us, but
Okay.
he probably would like to see them kind of looking at it as well, just to help the road guys out.
I mean, initially, I think they need to call EOC, and then
Yeah.
EOC will determine. I think the
If
first call
Animal Control's
EOC can
busy,
make the
we-
ACO, and then.
If Animal Control wasn't busy, then
Oh, that's a good idea.
we would send them.
We have issues with that.
I will
That is a
mention
real good
though,
idea.
as well, to me, I don't know if, I think to make this work for the county, on us having our own ECO and us kind of taking over some of those duties, if there's any way possible that, we could work out something with the jail on having some inmates there to help clean and to help take care of the animals.
Yes, sir.
On a daily basis, or anything you can offer.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, that's gonna be, I think, a big key to making this work, actually. Okay.
I agree, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll continue those discussions, but.
Okay.
that's all I got.
All right, we've had a motion and a second. If there's
Only
no
thing-
further,
Only thing I just wanted to ask is, I guess, to the sheriff, I mean, sort of something coming under his umbrella. I mean, I'm assuming you've got no concerns, I guess, bringing that into your wheelhouse. right?
No, we talked a little bit about, there'll be some things I think we kind of work on as they come up, but no, I mean,
It seems like the natural fit, but
it
yet again, it's
does. I
different.
mean, it's a joint thing, so it, under my supervision, the judges and obviously the courts, just a part of that as well, but, I think it'll work. It's just a step-by-step process to make sure that we get it right and stuff. And educating the people and the clarity of, things that'll come up as we get somebody hired is the hours, the calls, late night calls, weekend calls, stuff like that. I think we have to discuss as a group to, and then let people know, hey, this is the time, and obviously in emergencies and dog bites, we go anyway, so, hopefully we can get the word out in time, and get somebody hired.
We appreciate you taking part of that role.
Well, we're part of it anyway, honestly. I mean, they fuss at us regardless, so.
At least you can get somebody to do it, they fuss at them.
At least I can fuss back now,
Yeah.
if something didn't get done right, so, we're in it together, so that was my main concern was, as long as we're doing it as a whole group.
Yep.
I'm perfectly glad to help.
We'll make it work.
I think it's just a natural fit, really,
It is.
to go
I mean, like I
under.
said, we get calls that go with AC anyway,
Yeah.
so.
You know, we'd spoke about maybe that falling under my umbrella, but it just made more sense to go, to me, to go under the sheriff. All right, I've got a motion, a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Item number 8, approve the application for federal assistance, SF 424, to increase the award for the Motts Creek debris removal project, retroactive to May 25th, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 9, approve the resolution and agreement between Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and Logan County Fiscal Court for the construction of a new bridge on Newtown Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Well, that was quick. Any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 10, approve KCO's workers' compensation insurance premium agreement in the amount of $99,196 for fiscal year 23-24.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this?
I just want to know who our livestock inspector is.
Is, Bill Smith.
Okay, thank you.
Bill Smith, the ex-vet? Okay. I did not know that myself.
Inspector. His workman comp policy is $13, so I was just curious.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 11, approve the KALF property and casual renewal for fiscal year 23-24.
I don't have it in my.
I don't have that either.
It's all on like the same page, it's just broken down.
On which,
Workers' comp.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see it.
It's just a separate agenda item.
Yeah. And that was $8,500.
No.
No, it's,
Yeah, it's up at the top of the page.
265, 357.
Oh, okay. You got it. You got it.
Very, very top. The very first one.
Make a motion to approve the KALF property and casual renewal for fiscal year 23 to 24.
20%.
Well, it's been kind of cross the board anyway,
Oh, it's just an excuse. They just want to make more money.
can I have a motion? Do I have a
Don't get me
second?
started on the insurance.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up, discuss earthquake insurance for fiscal year 23-24.
How much was it last year, Amanda?
305,000. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Last year,
12,658.
I'm wanting to think that we chose a lot lesser coverage last year.
we did.
Yep. I know we did something different.
How much do we need here?
Well, I think, did we not have $100 million at one time?
Of insurance?
Yeah,
Earthquake.
remember.
That's what I meant.
But it's showing
Which was those 10 million.
10 million.
I think we took a higher deductible last year.
You know what? That's what it was.
25,000.
Showing at 25,000, and I think we increased that deductible last year.
Yeah, because I believe we did.
Let me see what it cost last year.
Well, it shows.
Huh?
12,000.
It shows 12,000
From last?
on that other page. It shows.
The page before.
It shows 12,658. But yeah, if you can go in there and pull it up just to verify.
No,
It says 1265.
That's what, yeah, 22, 23.
So the premium's gonna be 31.
It's more than doubled.
Yeah, but last year, like Amanda said, we chose a different deductible. We tweaked it some way somehow last year because they sent us like 3 different options.
At the most, we're gonna get
But this-
$10 million.
But that cost after we did that change was 12,658. So with that same deductible, whatever we change, it's 31,000.
Why don't we table this one and get some more options
let's-
on it?
Yeah.
See if we
That's a
can't
good idea.
get some, you know.
What more than
one,
double?
2, and 3.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to table, discussion item number 12.
And
There's-
for you to ask for
Yeah,
more
yeah,
options.
I've got it, yeah. If there's no other discussion on this, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes. Next up, discuss changes for fiscal year 23-24 budget as requested by the fiscal court. These are the changes we made, you guys had asked for in our budget meeting.
So here's the question: do we want to do them all in one motion, or is there anything that we want to do separately that everybody may not agree on?
No, we need to do it all in one. There's no sense going through every one of those because we agreed upon them in that workshop.
Yeah, but
Well, I think what he's asking, is there any item on this page that we want to pull out for separate discussion?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody's got it.
I'm cool with every single one of them.
Well, most of them are decreases, which is incredible.
But there was a couple had reservations about, so we want to pull them out.
I don't remember what that was.
Well, one of them was the thing.
I think,
That's what, it was the change in the celebrations, festivals, and all that, I think was what was.
man, do you remember how much this was a change in the total budget? Is that, do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't remember the overall change, but at the bottom there, you'll see if we do this, that would have, with these changes, you would have 244,819 in your occupational tax contingency. I will say that there are some other changes that are forthcoming. One of the things that we did not have when we had the first reading of the budget was the numbers that, on insurance renewal.
Correct.
So the health insurance premiums for those line items is gonna change, so that will probably take care of a portion of what is in contingent.
Our occupational tax fund contingent was 0.
Yes.
So with the changes we made at our budget meeting, it's gonna make our contingent appropriations to 244,819.
Positive.
To the positive side, correct.
You know, we'll have other.
Assuming every line item is
100%.
Yes.
Which
Never will be.
never happens, but we prepare for the worst. But, yeah, so we had I think a good productive meeting when we,
I mean, would you say 80%?
what's that?
Would
Oh, I don't know.
it's hard to say.
What that number is. It's a little different. Our expenditures are about 14.
Is everybody good for one motion?
I have one thing, when y'all get through with that, I mean, if anybody's got any questions about any specific line item.
What again was the Auburn, Adderville, Lewisburg park total, I mean, each?
We took it from $9,600 to $15,000. And then we took Green Ridge from 800 to 1,500.
And the city of Russellville is what?
We kept it the same. It's $25,000. It's actually 26,600, I think.
Right.
Or
That was higher than that.
no, it ain't. It's 37,000.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
But we had some increases to the, which is, it's not really gonna benefit the park system, but we had increases with the, Carrico.
Yeah. Because we give Russellville 1,000 a month and 25.
The only thing I was gonna ask is, you know, I don't know when it would happen, but I would hope in the near future, next budget cycle, that we could work with the other incorporated cities and get started on our contractors licensing and building inspection countywide.
Yeah.
You know, that's obviously got a lot of groundwork to be done, several meetings with the mayors of the incorporated cities. A lot of that groundwork's been laid. They all are willing to move forward.
Absolutely.
They just expect the county to kind of lay that foundation, what that's gonna look like, how that's gonna be funded, what do you want from us, and bring it to them, mainly the city of Russellville. They would be the bigger of the four players in the game. So, the only question, and I meant to bring it up at the workshop and I forgot, my only question is, do we want to put a line item, start a line item, and fund some dollars towards it, or do y'all just wanna wait until it actually becomes a reality and do that?
I think it'll be easier on the judge's office and the people there if we just do an amendment to the budget. Once we know,
I agree. That way we have some kind of some numbers versus just throwing a random
think-
number out there.
you know, we need to continue on and not let this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Since I've been on court, we've been talking about it. We've been
But
talking about
it's
it.
kind of like the Parks and Rec deal. If that line item was there and that money was there, it makes it easier to continue. But but if the budget amendment's the easiest thing.
I think, like I said, I think it's moved forward
Right.
quite a bit.
Agreed.
Judge has had 6 months. He ought to be a pro now. He ought to be able to take that and zoning and get it all done in a couple of months. And so.
Wow, 2 months.
So
2 months. Wow. Thanks for your
Great
genuine.
attorney right here. I mean,
Thanks for your generosity there, sir.
30 to 90 days tops. Man, if y'all are okay with that, then that committee should be able to get back going again, and
Agreed.
let's meet with those folks and start laying. You know, Chris has got excellent skills in that type of thing, and we just set some groundwork, and then, but the other cities are waiting on us. Just
So
FYI,
me, you, and Chris is on the
they are
committee?
waiting for us to say, what does this look like? What does it cost? Where do we do it? And what do you expect from us?
Right.
So the city of Russellville is waiting on us.
Does this also include the subdivision development board, or whatever it was that, was it zoning and planning board where they?
That's already a board.
Well, I know, but it also, that document that they gave to us, and they had somebody come in and redo all that, and we still have never done anything with that.
It's totally different.
That's a separate thing that we do review and.
Right.
They would work.
They do a
Yeah, but it hasn't been updated since like 2004 or
Like 97.
Yeah, I think it's like
Like
he said.
97.
Oh, like 97.
I may be talking about something different.
Yeah, you're talking about the plan.
You're talking about
The
comprehensive
I thought
plan.
that's what you were.
No.
No, this
is like,
planning
but
and zoning.
when we was talking about all
subdivision.
that inspector license and all that, that's when we started doing that.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna get, you're co-mingling the two things, you know, the contractor's licensing
Yeah.
is one thing. The building inspection, so what these laws that are set by that board, you know, in the city of Russellville and the city of Auburn, you know, that inspector would look at those guidelines. And the state would be the main one, which they adopt the international building codes is what they do. You know, and they are going out and making sure you are implementing what the law says. They are the law. So what that board you're talking about kind of says, hey, the setbacks for subdivisions are this, the roads have to be this, you know, whatever those.
Because I mean, I get complaints on that, you know.
But they have to go to the subdivision.
And I know you've had complaints too about the acreage requirement being 1 acre, it needs to be less, and yada, yada, yada.
They would need to go there, not to the building inspector.
But we have to improve, we're the ones that approves that document that says what they work off of.
That's right. Comes to court for our approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to work on that too.
So I'm talking about the building inspector.
Okay.
I'm not talking about, you know,
Okay, I thought it was all kind of in the same group, but.
they're working in the same house, but, you know, it's just,
Different room.
yeah, that's right.
So we'll just
All right.
tackle one at a
So if
time.
y'all wanna just fund that later, it's fine. I just thought I'd bring that up if y'all wanted to.
And you had brought up too about us moving that general fund money over to the Parks and Rec. Once the lost revenue side of things, and I think Amanda's still working on finding out more about that, right?
I did get a response from Keith at Compass Group on that. I had a couple questions when he sent it back to me, so that's why it's not before you all today. So hopefully he will get that back to me this week, because I do plan on that being on the next fiscal court agenda. But the number he had did not completely, it wouldn't have completely encumbered our balance that we have available. So I was asking questions about could we include this, and this. So he's getting back with me on that. And then I've also asked, once we convert it to revenue loss and we put it in the general fund, how do you get it there? Are there special methods for doing so? And then, so I want to get all those ducks in a row so we make sure we're doing that properly.
I just don't want it to be lost in general fund.
Right.
It
Correct.
needs to go from ARPA, general fund, and then to where we want it to go.
And I guess that'll be, since we're still kind of waiting on the answers, it'll be another amendment to the budget.
And then we'll approve, because I had suggested doing half Parks and Rec, half for our tire sites.
Correct.
Just, you know.
The
As long as we
911.
know that firm number, perhaps at the next court meeting, you all can decide what that looks like.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So I'm good with all those that you all have on there. And we all spoke about them. I don't have any concerns.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the changes to the fiscal year 23-24 budget as presented by fiscal court.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for these changes. Is there any further discussion?
I think it's good for the public to know that we had a lot of increases in the salary schedules or the pay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And over the past several years, we've worked on being more competitive and being closer to the market. And a big portion of that has been the sheriff's office. Just working with the sheriff and the sheriff's concerns on hiring. And I think, you know, we're finally there as far as being competitive.
Absolutely.
I just think it's good to let the taxpayers know that a lot of that is going towards their family's protection and safety. So,
Absolutely.
And to make sure the sheriff has the resources and tools and the staff that he needs to do so.
I am very happy with the salary increases we've made. I think it's made it better for our employees of the county. And along with that, the other contributions we're making to make life in Logan County better, I think is a great benefit to the county. Do I have a motion and a second? No other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 14, acknowledge the Kentucky Product Development Initiative, the KPDI project report.
We don't have no skin in the game.
You have zero. Basically what this is they need a confirmation basically for me to sign this saying that we acknowledge it. We voted on this a few weeks ago. What this does is basically Logan County will be the recipient, thank you. I was trying to say beneficiary and I knew that wasn't right. Will be the recipient of, and then Russellville City will be the beneficiary of.
I'm sure you get your grammar right around grammar police over there.
Yeah. I make a motion to acknowledge the KPDI project report and allow the judge to sign it.
A second.
All right, motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford, Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. With that being said, we have no reason to go into executive session. No post, do we have any post agenda?
Post-agenda.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
I would like to have the court's consideration to put out a request for consideration on the future Logan County Park. We've had a lot of talk here in court, you know, hey, what's the first step? Well, we're looking for land, and we say we're looking for land, and I know Tyler and the judge and several of y'all have, you know, brainstormed and done, we've all done our part probably, but, you know, I think it needs to be kind of official, and it needs to be put out there to the public in both a solicitation, in our publication, on our website, to realtors, you know, that, hey, this is what we are trying to do, this is the first step. Again, please change, modify, edit, strike it down, whatever you want to do. But I just wrote out, you know, a request for consideration that may not even be the proper format. We'll ask our attorney, but it just simply reads, the Logan County Fiscal Court is seeking to purchase or acquire land for the future placement of a potential Logan County park. The ideal land location would be within 10 miles of the city limits of Russellville and be 75 to 150 acres of land with a combination of flat, hilly, and wooded acreage. If you have land that the court, for the court to consider, please submit your prospect to Logan County Judge Phil Baker at 200 West 4th Street, Russellville, Kentucky, or call 270-726-3116 if you have any questions. We will be receiving requests for consideration until, and I made up an arbitrary date of September 1st, 2023. You can make that date whatever you want. I just put that there. So I'd like for y'all to consider that. If y'all are feeling agreeable to it, I would like to see that advertisement be put out.
Like in the paper or?
Yeah.
Just like if we were putting out
A request for the HVAC maintenance. Same.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a step in the direction that we need to, you know.
There's somebody out there probably
Well,
willing
you
to
know,
give
if
us
you
150.
don't know, you know, I mean, there's people in court who are now hearing this. There's people who, you know, would maybe read the paper. I think if you put it in the hands of our local realtors, then the chatter starts.
That's a good idea.
And I think the only thing I might change would be to add the word joining acreage, just so that it's not somebody saying we got 10 over here and 20 over here.
Contiguous, is that the right
Yeah.
word? Contiguous.
Yeah.
We'll get, if it's agreeable, we'll have Joe and might sit down and just kind of,
Oh, I see.
hey, I like the
Y'all
wording,
work
but I
the
think there's some
words
changes. Yeah,
out.
yeah. No, I see it's the
That
idea.
makes sense, because, you know, you're right, you know, you may have 10 acres, and your next door neighbor may have 50, and the other neighbor has 25, and, hey, between the four of us, we can come up with this, you know?
So you want that on the 75 to 150 acres contiguous?
Yes. And we need to make that a motion.
Well,
Well, I'd just say a solicit, let me see what.
well, I was gonna say, suggestion I was wondering is, I know you did, I know why you said combination of flat, hilly, wooded acreage, but in essence, you generally want, I guess, the majority of it to be open acreage, I would imagine, right? I mean, we won't,
No, not necessarily, I mean, when you're talking about bike trails.
I was just thinking about the development side of it, you know, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Talking
flat
about
land,
excavation and
and
such.
clearing, you know, I mean.
yeah, I mean, I don't know,
I
I
want
guess everybody has a
emphasize
different
the
opinion. You
openness
got
of it too, but.
You got a facility, a walking trail park, a cloverleaf baseball field, I'm just thinking things, a
Yeah.
pond,
And
whatever.
everything around it is.
Man, if you had 50 acres of that, you get a whole lot of stuff on
Yeah.
that, you know? I mean, you think about I'm just thinking about Ephraim White and Buchanan, and I'm thinking about how much of that is flat, and it's probably under 50 acres. You know, and they consist of Ephraim Park's walking trail was what, 1 point something miles?
Yeah.
It's
been a while since I've been out there.
That's probably on the 25, 30 acres.
From Hawaii Park, what's that?
Yeah,
Past Louisville Road on the other side of the Corvette plant.
Oh, on the, in Bowling Green? I was trying to compare it.
Ephraim White's over there about Warning South Street.
Okay, okay.
I guess the other
Okay, yeah.
question I was gonna ask is, how many times would you wanna advertise it? I mean, as far as.
Typically solicitation for bids,
Right.
y'all run them in two cycles of newspapers, you
Yeah,
know.
well, we can get it out
You
on
can do it
Facebook.
more,
yeah.
but-
Well, you got a long win, you know, if we start this immediately, I'm sure you want that out there sooner rather than later, so that's why I thought you might want to do more than the.
I think we
usual.
continuously bid it or publicize it in
Correct.
those papers until, and again, that September 1st date, I just made that up.
No,
Y'all change it. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I want to start now, but I want to run, you don't want to run that for 2 weeks.
No,
You need to run that for a long period of time because realtors need time to start
I
saying,
mean, that's
hey,
60 days,
you know.
or, well, 90 days.
I was
The
kinda
date,
going
though,
all of July.
No,
I think the whole point is just get it out there, let them know we're kind of
That's about
looking.
60 days or a little more of
Creates
advertising.
urgency.
What I was gonna suggest too is maybe adding some language that, to make it where, because I think what you're wanting is proposals, so, I mean, that may come in different forms, I mean, depending on who you have, a landowner, depending on, you know, if their purchase terms or whatever they might, whatever other stipulations they might have, so, that might be something Joe and I can work on if you all want us to, you know, as far as,
Sure.
you know,
Work on that, send it back out to us, and
Yeah, I was
we'll
gonna
bless it, but I'm sure we're on generally the same page, you know. Doesn't have to be one landowner, it could be two that say, hey, I'll sell if you'll sell, and we'll have enough, you know, so I don't know how you word that, you know, but,
Agree.
yeah, I just think we need to make it official and put it out there so we can tell the public that, well, we mentioned it before, you know, you know, I've talked to so-and-so. I did go ahead and just, you know, I did call a realtor, you know, a week ago and say, hey, you know, we're looking for land, you know, and I'm gonna call other realtors. I don't want you to think that you're the only game in town, but, you know, I'm gonna bring it before court and ask for them to publicize it. So I want to put,
can I just clarify the discussion about, you know, the type of land? I would assume that you all, you wouldn't want it too limited, because I would think, just depending on, would that be true? Like, that's ideal, but you would consider whatever options, you know, got thrown out there.
absolutely.
So to make it a little bit more open, because if somebody, you know, just theoretically had all flat land, it's like, well, they don't want this, but maybe you do, so maybe you can give anything else.
Maybe not put nothing like that on it
So-
and just, if you've got.
Yeah,
I
I was
don't
just
want
thinking,
anybody to think, I think that it would be the latter, that people was like, well, mine's all woods, you know, I got
you know,
25 acres of flat ground, the rest of it's just woods. They ain't not gonna want that. That's probably more of people's thinking that, you know,
but I would think that you all would want to consider, you know, if that option came out there, you would consider it.
man, we won't
Absolutely.
consider everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you say, this is the amount of land, and then just say, ideally,
Right.
Yeah. So I think we let let the attorneys work on the wording and possibly bring it out back next meeting for a vote?
No, we don't. I just want to put a motion now to put out the request for consideration.
I'm
Y'all work on the
okay. Yeah, I'm
wording.
okay. Well, that's what I was gonna say next.
Let the judge and the
Perfect.
attorneys work on the wording
That's fine.
and dates. And I just don't want to advertise it for 2 weeks.
No,
Let's
no,
advertise it
no. Let's keep
for
it continuous.
Multiple places.
Right.
For multiple
And
runnings.
once we get the date set, there is a KRS that outlines a 721 day rule. So once we know that date, and I'll make sure Libby or whoever's doing it at that point, that we are in compliance with that 721 day rule on things that we advertise.
If you do it multiple times, you gotta make sure you got one in that 721 day
Yeah.
period.
Correct.
You can do it as many times as you want, as long as one of them falls in.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
With our
Yeah.
open day.
So, Thomas, you gonna make that motion?
Yeah, just, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll second your motion.
Does anybody need this piece of paper?
Okay.
Give it the hand up,
We're
please.
gonna change it.
Yeah, we're gonna butcher it.
That's my butchering.
So I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Is there any other for post agenda? If not, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Say aye.